Grand Hood Rising, Kings and Queens, Trap Witch here in Atlanta, Georgia, coming to bring you an impromptu little video about something that I wanted to touch on today. Okay? This morning I made a post and I want to get into it, right? Because I want a lot of people to realize that I make posts that I channel through the messages of spirit. And a lot of people can feel like I'm saying things from my own standpoint, and the way that I word things can be misinterpreted, being that I am the vessel that they are coming through. But one thing that I do know is for certain that sometimes, even in being a messenger, at times the messenger gets shot, right? And I've often been a messenger that I felt that gets shot in the process of delivering something that someone needed to hear. Maybe that they weren't ready to hear. Maybe that they felt shouldn't have no business been delivered to them. Either way, I want to start with the initial message that I shared this morning. And it said, maybe you're just being lazy and are happy doing nothing because you want all the wonders without the work. Your desire for destiny is going to have to outweigh your discontentment. Do something about it or shut the fuck up. Complaining is not a catalyst of growth. Okay? So amidst this, I had many people who said, Trap Witch, this is something I needed to hear. But I had one comment, and a lot of times we have to ask ourselves why that one comment is triggering to us. Now, to me, it wasn't triggering to me where I'm about to lose my shit, but triggering to me enough to say, you know what, this is fire up under my ass to make a video about something. Okay? Now, part of this post I said is that sometimes we have to get up off our behind, right? And so someone commented about having chronic pain. So ironically enough, this morning when I woke up amidst making breakfast, I cut myself with a butter knife, okay? And I remember getting upset about it a little bit because it hurts in a weird way to get cut by something that's not that sharp, okay? And so my mother saw my face. My mother was like, you should see your face. And I said, have you ever been cut with a dull butter knife? And she's like, yeah, I have. And so this goes to a bigger thing for me, right? Because all day now, this one spot has been this dull, achy pain that's annoying as fuck, right? But sometimes I realize that in life, it's those dull, achy pains that irritate us the most and that make us most unhappy. The littlest and smallest things. And when we compare this to the dull, achy things that we feel subconsciously, that we know that we need to honor and address, we want to ignore them, but yet the pain is radiating. So therefore, it's asking us to give it the attention that it desires. So what is it about these dull, achy pains that is really, really, truly bothering you, okay? So a lot of people don't know about me, okay? When I responded to this comment, I said, Because one thing that did irritate me is that this person called me an ableist. They said I sounded like I was being an ableist. And so I want to touch on what being an ableist is, or what ableism is. Ableism, noun, discrimination in favor of able-bodied people. For me, that's rather contradictory because I work with sick people every day. And I believe strongly that the reason why I was put into this position as a healer is because all my life I've dealt with sick people. Okay? What do I mean by that? Story tale time. So, both of my parents, one now deceased, one still living, 169 who's still living, my mother, and my father who died when he was 63. Both of my parents have been chronically ill with much illness since I was born, especially having two older parents, okay? Now, one thing that I've realized upon getting older is that some of these illnesses that my parents had could have been avoided. They could have been avoided via spiritual healing or just plain better taking care of themselves, okay? My father himself, he died of a heart attack, probably like his fourth, fifth one, you know, at a very young age, 63. My fondest memories of my father is that I couldn't go to the movies with him without him falling asleep because he had terrible narcolepsy, where 5 minutes into the movie, I'm nudging his arm at 8 years old to tell him, please stay awake because you're embarrassing me because we're in the movies and you're falling asleep and snoring obnoxiously loud. Or him, while I'm visiting him during the summer from the Cayman Islands in New Jersey where he was, being so excited to go school shopping for sneakers or for something that I needed for school, and my father not being able to, excuse me, walk around the mall with me because he was in such pain and he couldn't keep up. So therefore, at 11 years old, he was giving me the money, excuse me, he was giving me the money to go walk around and buy my own things so he could just sit on the bench. My mother, who in the early 2000s, late 90s, ooh, talking too loud. I'm projecting my voice very loud because it's something I'm very passionate about, but I gotta calm down a little bit. It's not even the cigar, it's the fucking incense getting to me. In the early 90s, well, late 90s, 2000s, my mother was one of the first people that I remember getting diagnosed with what they call the disease fibromyalgia, which many people that I've met throughout life now who deal with fibromyalgia, it's a very much a disease that the people that go through it have a hard time trying to explain to people what it is like dealing and coping with this illness. I felt highly offended, and I won't lie, I felt highly offended at the person who called me an ableist because it made me feel like they were saying that I was discriminating against them in favor of able-bodied people. To me, as a healer, and I'm a tough love healer, that made me feel like I was some sort of asshole. But I knew I wasn't. I knew I was triggering something with her with the wording. And she said, it's not, you know, it's your wording. And my thing is, then don't use the fucking word ableist. There are a lot of things in this life that I feel like don't need to be enabled. Okay? And I feel like as a tough love healer, because I have been given a lot of tough love from my mentors, who a lot of them have survived cancer, who have helped people endure life-threatening diseases on a day-to-day basis. I feel one of the most compassionate things that you can do as a tough love healer is not enable people. Okay? Being compassionate is not being an enabler. And this is the thing. A lot of times we have to understand that we have to be in favor of ourselves no matter what, no matter how disabled we are currently fucking feeling. You understand me? It does not matter how disabled we are feeling. We have to understand that that first part of the word, diss. Do not diss yourself saying you are not able of something. One thing that I'm reminded of is that when I first started awakening hardcore in 2016, I used to watch a lot of fucking John and Joel Osteen, okay? Now, a lot of times in my life, I don't listen to people when they want to chastise the messengers, because a lot of times we need to listen to the fucking message and not pay attention to the messenger. Listen to the fucking message, okay? And one thing I believe it was John Osteen said was that he went into a diner and there was an elderly woman who was sick. And she had dealt with sickness all her life. And she said to him, she has come to terms with what, this is just what God has put upon her, that God wants her to be sick. And he said, ma'am, God does not want you to be sick. The fact that you have enabled that thought, you have disabled anything else in your favor for coming to your life. And a lot of people don't understand that their daily struggles, that these things that come into their life, it is not here to disadvantage you. It is not here to punish you. It is here to fucking help you live your best motherfucking life possible. When I was in the sex industry, I had a client who was a young man. He was about 25 years old. 25, 26, and he was a veteran. This young man lost his leg going to war, okay? He lost his leg via IUD, what they call them, in Afghanistan. That young man, every time he came to see me, he always had a smile on his face. He never complained about everything. He was giving. He was generous. He made a bad situation work in his favor. He traveled the world. He did what he could do with the cards that he was dealt. And sometimes you have to realize that you are dealt the cards that you are dealt, to understand that you were not dealt bad cards, but you have to be the winning hand that helps you fucking win this game. And I was one of those people. God, I'm so emotional. I was one of those people in my early 20s, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I was one of those people that felt fucking sorry for myself. In life, a lot of times we want to sit down and hold a fucking pity party, and we want to feel sorry for ourselves. I love my mother to death, but some mornings I want to wake up and I want to fucking scream, because every morning I've had to hear the complaints about illness, and I come to realize that this was a hand that I was dealt to turn this into a winning hand. Why is it that I was dealt two disabled parents? I could have easily allowed my mental instability to overcome me, as many people do. There's a lot of people that deal with chronic illnesses that understand that the combat within them is bigger than the chronic pain that's trying to eat them away, because somehow, some way, sometimes that pain underneath is saying, come on, chip away everything and dig me up and fucking deal with me so you can heal. Deal with me so you can heal. And one thing that I have learned is that where there's a will, there's a fucking way. And a lot of people are walking around here like fucking zombies because their willpower has left them and they are burying themselves before they even have a fucking chance to live. One goddamn thing I love hearing about is people that have survived the odds and they still are grateful for life even though they are missing things that some people would kill for. Sometimes we're out here complaining about the pain in our legs. Sometimes we're out here complaining about the pains in our arms. And there's people that don't have fucking legs and they don't have fucking arms. And they still walk around with a damn smile on their face. They're not asking people to be sorry for them. No one in this life has to feel sorry for you. The biggest disservice to yourself is sitting there and feeling sorry for yourself. Anything that triggers us to feel sorry for ourselves, it's saying, why do you feel that way? And that's why I make videos like this, because in that moment when someone said that to me, I could have sat down and I could pity about it. For what? One of the biggest things that I've struggled with is the fact that as I know that I'm a caring, compassionate, giving, loving individual. And that shit has been taken for granted and it has been tried to be mowed over my whole life. And I've been given this voice for a reason. And yes, you do need to be considerate of people's feelings. But that first part of compassion, that first part compass, if the way you are being compassionate is not leading in a direction to help people find the way, then what the fuck are you doing? I am not somebody's here, I realize, to babysit people's feelings and to carry them the whole way. It is okay for somebody to help you, but nobody is here to fucking carry you in this world. I realize some of the people that I have met along the way and along the journey is to remind me and to help remind others that there's some people out there with incredible will, and that stems for a love for themselves, that they know that they were put in this world to love themselves in a way that others can be inspired to love themselves also. But a lot of us are just sitting here like, oh well, I'm just gonna feel sorry for myself. Some of you people are sitting on fucking destiny that another person would kill for. But that same person that might be feeling a little bit down and tomorrow says, I've had enough, will find their destiny quicker with the cards of a shitty hand that was dealt to them, and you were dealt a better hand, and you're still sitting there being fucking sorry for yourself. Are you serious? You see this shirt that I made? Witching ain't easy. It's not. Half of this shit on here, cards, horoscopes, crystal balls and shit, right? Half of this shit is a crutch. This sage, this is a crutch. This is a comfort sometimes. Oh, you see it? We can whirl it around. We can, oh, I'm clearing out the energy. I'm clearing out the space. What about this shit? Some of y'all need to eat this shit and swallow it. So I'm going to put it down. You see this? It's a fucking rock. You know, sometimes I love when people sometimes call crystals rocks. Why? Because they're fucking rocks unless you turn it into a damn gem. These things operate off of your frequency. And you see this here? I love it, but look. Throwing it in the yard doesn't matter. Because we're going to realize how much things outside of ourselves in this life we use as a fucking crutch. With crutches being said, people have to understand we come into this world by ourselves and we go out by ourselves. Okay? I myself, like I said, I deal with a sick person in my life that I am entitled to take care of. I am obligated to take care of, because that's what my spirits say that I must do. And in my heart, I know I must do. People will say to me, oh, but you don't understand. I've been places where with my mother, she's knocked unconscious out of nowhere and I think she's dead. But I realized in that moment, I can't be emotionally reactive, or what fucking good am I? We have to learn to become less emotionally reactive and more emotionally intelligent. People want a reason to be in their fucking feelings all the time. And we are put here to honor the human experience, but we have to understand we are human beings having a spiritual experience to get back to. And so when we were talking about crutches, I want to talk about an energy that I feel like I want to call in, and I want to do a reading, and I want to tap into spirit so I could give you a message that some of y'all might be needing right now. There is an energy called Saint Lazarus. Saint Lazarus, or in Santeria as we call Babaluaye. And he is an energy of great healing. And he was amongst the lepers and amongst the sick. And he is always seen as somebody on the crutch, diseased, beaten down, hurting, like an outcast. But the king of the sick and the king of the healing. And there's a lot of people out there right now that I love y'all to death, but you need some fucking healing, not just on the outside, but deep down in your heart and in your spirit and your mind. And so what I want to do is call in Babaluaye to help me channel a message for healing today for somebody who just feels like they can't get up, that they can't get it the fuck together, that they have to have compassion for themselves, but they not have pity for themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 5 cards from the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck, and then I'm going to complement it with one Archangel deck by Doreen Virtue, and hope that Spirit gives us some sort of message to help those who are feeling crutched. And sometimes you're not going to be able to immediately walk, but once you knock that crutch from under you, motherfucker, you better crawl. Crawl. Before you walk, before you run, and before you know, you've built up the momentum to keep fucking going again. I met an individual, this young woman, who was a client of mine. And god damn it, like, I love her so much. I've had one session with her where I've had to go to her house. And I want to work with this young lady more. But last year she was shot. Her partner was killed and she was shot and she was left unable to walk. And her occupation, she was a hairstylist. Every day her livelihood required her being on her feet. And they took from her her ability to walk. And the thing that she has said is that she still has her life and she will walk again. And you have to understand why we have examples of people like this. Because some of y'all are out here thinking you'll never walk, yet alone run again in your life. You're sitting there crying over something so minimal that you need to get the fuck over yourself. You need to get the fuck over yourself. Honor the pain. Honor that you might fall down. You might stumble. But you have to have the desire within you to do that for yourself, because no one's job is to do it for you. No one's job is to feel it for you. No one's job is to feel that pain for you to get going again. That is for you to do for yourself. So if we can, we're going to center ourselves. Every day I walk around with crooked ass fingers. If none of y'all have noticed this shit by now, I can't straighten my fingers. I have such chronic arthritis that every day of my life, my fingers gradually cripple up even more. So what? My hands still work. I still got 2 hands. Spirit, we call you in on behalf of the collective. We ask for the highest good of all those involved with harm to none. We ask for clarity. We ask for clear perception. We ask at this time, what is it subconsciously underlying below the surface beyond the veil that can facilitate in their highest good at this time? I call in Alegua to open the roads to precise messages, clear messages that are channeled from above to help us below as we're moving through the human experience, back to ascension, back to transcension of becoming spiritual, enlightened beings that operate from our logic and emotional intelligence, to come here to fulfill our mission of servitude to ourselves and also in servitude to others. I call in my guides of benevolence, my ancestors, my spirit guides, and specifically I call in the energy of Saint Lazarus, Babaluaye, to surround us, to help us in this time of healing and in need where we feel like we need crutches, we need people to enable us, we need sympathy, but we need to have empathy and compassion to ourselves to understand why we need to feel these things in order to move forward and move through the pain and move through the healing in order to ascend in this existence. Spirit, I ask, what is it that the collective needs to know most at this time? Whew. First card, Nanan Baclou La Flambeau. Do you see this person here who has a mouth blow that's imparting flames into the heads of other people? Yesterday, I spoke on a quote that talked about showmanship. Or the day before yesterday, whenever it was, showmanship. Too many of us want applause. We want applause for what we do. We just want the applause of people saying, good job. You want a fucking cookie? Good job. It is better to allow people to come to their senses than allowing people just to come to their feet and applaud you. You are not entitled any applause from anybody for getting out of bed today, for walking out the door, for getting in your car and going to work. That is on you. It is nobody's job to applaud you for any of that shit. The shit. Who do you do it for? You do it for your fucking self. And the biggest influence you can be to people is doing shit for yourself to bring them to their senses that they can do shit for themselves too. One thing that I realized and why I was real depressed in my early 20s was because I expected people to do shit for me. I expected people to put me on and get mad when they didn't. Put me on to healing, put me on to money, put me on to this, put me on to that. You got to do the work. If you want to be an influence in this world, you have to be influential. And guess what? Too many people are influenced by bullshit and impressed by bullshit. That's why they're never influential themselves. It's a revolving circle of shit. We live in an enabled society that keeps people disabled because we are pushing crutches. And that's why nobody can't walk and stand on their own 2 feet. Okay? The second card is the Carnivale card, the World card. That card talks about all that you need for your growth is inside of you. This world is not going to give you no growth that you can't find within yourself. The growth that you find within yourself is a result of the world. What do you feel the world has caused you? And how has it affected you? But that cause is to affect you, to be caused to move yourself, to have effect on the world. It's a cycle. That's why we get sucked into bad cycles. And some of y'all get sucked down real good. You get sucked down real good on some sucker shit. And you got to understand that what you feel is a struggle is a cause to your cause. And how it affects you and how you deal with it is how you can go on to become influential and in harmony with yourself. Because the 10 of Cups, the Grand Bois card in this card, in that card, I love how it talks about in the book, it said, these waters are the waters of which the newly dead travel to get back to the ancestors. What I love about ancestral wisdom and practices such as Santeria that I partake in and whatever have you, your ancestors walked this earth and you can learn from their fuck-ups. You can learn from other people's fuck-ups and you can choose not to do that shit. There's no such thing as generational ancestral curses. You're just supposed to look at how the world affected your fucking family and not do the same thing. And when you find yourself doing the same thing and feeling disharmonious and feeling out of union and out of whack, knock yourself fucking back together. But a lot of people go to crutches. They go to medication. They go to drugs. They go to other people. Honor your solitude and how the fuck you feel with yourself, by yourself, with all of that shit. You see what I'm sitting here doing right now? This is how I've been doing my healing since I started my journey. Majority of the time. When I am feeling something, I deal with it head on and I go straight at it. I ain't gonna sit there and dwell on that shit and then allow that to become a chronic illness within myself of hatred and disease that's going to fester and come within me and kill me. You got to be able to kill many versions of yourself to return to the land and the waters of which the ancestors roam. That relationship that we have with the dead, with dead people, right? It's more so about them guiding you through this existence to not repeat the same steps that they might have gone through that did not do for them. History repeats itself until you make a change and you make a difference. Evolution requires revolution. And how can you have a revolution unless you're not willing to revolt? And guess what? In the midst of revolution, there's going to be casualties. And sometimes you got to be one. You got to kill those weaker versions of yourself. And I always tell people, if you feel like this version of you is so weak, fucking kill it. Boss up on that motherfucker and kill it. You acting over there like you ain't strong, like you can't kill this weak-ass, bitch-ass version of yourself. Have a funeral for that motherfucker. Bury that motherfucker. Y'all, many people let that person rule their life. Congo Mambo, reverse. Queen of Cups, reverse. This card shows a woman. She's handling these waters below her like a motherfucking boss with two hands. With a snake around her waist. Snake around the womb. Creation. Internal. For the depths of creation. Many of y'all are not in control of your waters, not control of your emotions. And you need to get two fucking hands on your emotions, because them emotions are eating you the fuck up. That's why people continue to lose the wheel. They're screaming, and then the people be screaming, Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. There is a sign in people's yards here in the South that just irks my soul that says, this country needs Jesus. This country needs people to have Christ-like consciousness. Jesus was helping motherfuckers in these streets, but if he was trying to give a word and y'all they didn't want to hear it, he kept it fucking moving. And that's one thing that I've realized. Anything that I say that people don't like, I'm not going to save you. I'm going to spread a word. I'm going to keep it fucking moving. I am not your savior. No one is your savior. You are your own savior. Save your fucking self. You got to stop thinking that someone's going to play Captain Save-A-Ho to you. There are people that are contributors to your journey. They are influential. They are contributors. But you are the master. You are the alpha and you are the omega of your fucking destiny. And you have to play your part accordingly. And some of y'all don't even want to get to beta testing. How you going to get better if you don't even want to beta test? You don't even want to try. You don't even want to be like, oh, let me see. You don't even want to take that first step. And there's a sign at my gym on the door that says, showing up is half the battle. Some of y'all don't even want to fucking show up for yourself. Sometimes you'll realize just because you show up, you don't even have to fight as hard. Because sometimes your enemy doesn't even want to show up. The fact that you showed up, it's like the bully after school that said, okay, I'm going to meet you after school. And guess what? Maybe you were courageous enough to show up and the bully didn't even come. But a lot of y'all scared to even show up. Show up for the fight. Many of y'all don't want to show up for the fight in yourself. I used to be one of those people. That's why I don't have no sympathy for people no more. I have empathy. I can feel you. I can feel you on that shit because I used to be one of them sad motherfuckers. Always felt sorry for myself. And that's why I can sit here and I can feel confident. Witching ain't easy. Healing is not easy. It is not this namaste, kumbaya shit. It's not crystals and sage and white fucking dresses. It is the hard shit. It's being in the room with your elephants. It's an intervention. It's confrontation. It is confrontational and it is uncomfortable as fuck. The last card is the Oriati card, the Sword in the Stone. And if y'all ain't watched the fucking Sword in the Stone, you need to go watch the Sword in the Stone, the Disney movie that talks about Arthur. Arthur was a pipsqueak of a motherfucker that ended up showing up past everybody that was stronger than him, or so they thought. But the fact that he had the logic and the will and the desire to still show up and try, he was the one who pulled the sword out of the stone. The people all wanted to pull the sword out of the stone to become king. And Arthur, the little pipsqueak, weak little person, did it. Because he met a wizard named Merlin who taught him about magic and about will and how to overcome. And I feel like y'all need a quote from the Sword in the Stone. Let's see. Sword and the Stone quotes. It's up to you how far you'll go. If you don't try, you'll never know. Look at little Arthur. Don't be a mediocrity. Don't just wait and trust to fate and say that's how it's meant to be. It's up to you how far you go. If you don't try, you'll never know. If that ain't a motherfucking word. Man has always learned from the past. You can't learn history in reverse. Some people are so stuck on plan A sometimes. And I saw this quote that said, if you try plan A and plan A don't fucking work, you got 25 other motherfucking letters. Some people quit at A. The A game weak as fuck. You can't learn history in reverse. What's this angel card to wrap this shit up? Witching ain't easy, my friends. It's trying to heal yourself so the traumas can end. And guess what? You're going to go through life. There's going to be hella traumas. But you have to be calm. You have to be wise. You have to be mature. You have to ask what wisdom is being imparted to you, for you, to help serve you and to serve others. Sensitivity. Perfect. Archangel Hanuel. You are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Honor yourself and your feelings. It is okay. It's okay. I be telling people, it's okay to feel like weak as shit sometimes. It's okay to feel fucked. It's okay. It's all right. If you don't feel 100 today, don't feel 100. But don't wake up every goddamn day of your life and complain that you are not feeling 100 every day and don't do shit about it. I can't stand people. I'm sorry. I can't stand people who have so much to be grateful for, yet they still fucking complain. Get the fuck over yourself. What? Like I said, what do you want? A cookie? Oh, and I gotta tell myself that sometimes. Life goes on. Life will go on past you. Deal with your grief, and so the grief doesn't keep catching up to you. My spirit guides that are around me, the way that they have been described to me, and I feel them. When they come through me, they are not always for the timid. They might not always sound kind, but they have your motherfucking best interest at heart. And if you can get past the fear of them confronting you, as they've done with me, saying, get the fuck out of your way so we can work through you, get the fuck out of your own way so that your guides can work through you, so that you can be what you came here to be on this plane. This is hell, man. We are in hell. It's so beautiful though, isn't it? But the worst hell that you can be in is here. This is a sad hell, man. This is a sad hell that if you can't get past and you enjoy playing with those demons, you'll drive yourself crazy. Every day you get a chance to wake up and ask yourself, is this heaven or is this hell? There's a lot of shitty individuals. There's a lot of shitty things going on in this world. But goddamn if I tell you, you ain't gotta go out like that. Martyrdom. Being a martyr for your cause. It is better that you go through this life fighting for what you stand for. Even if you can't physically stand, just with the fight in your heart of what you believe and know to be true of why you came here. It is better to go out fighting in fucking guns of glory than to just die having not lived for anything. One of the best quotes I have ever heard is, do not let this world use you to the point where you go out of this world letting everything and everyone use you besides God. Too many people let their demons and their pain use them every day. And one of the best pieces of advice someone ever gave me was that the demons that are sent to you, make them work for you. And God damn it, I've used every last demon sent to me within me, and they work for me. That's why I ain't scared of the dark, and I ain't scared of motherfuckers no more. Witching ain't easy. So many people want to make this witchy shit into all this. Now, healing is not glamorous. Healing is not glamorous. It is gut-wrenching. It is horrendous. It has a beautiful result. But you're going to hurt through it. Last summer, I spent most of the summer on the fucking ground crying my eyes out, crying to my ancestors, crying to my guides. But guess what? They said you got to get the fuck up and you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Confront the shit. Honor how you feel and get the fuck over it. Get past it. Honor it. Use it. It is ammunition. What is sent to you is ammunition to be a weapon. Not of destruction for you, but a catalyst for you to move forward and for you to grow. And God damn it, it is now 47 minutes in, and this is just me off the dome. Shit, they're gonna give me a show. If I can sit here for 47 minutes and talk to myself preaching this sermon. I ain't even got a motherfucking congregation in front of me. But y'all my congregation. This is church. It is Sunday, and we are holding church today. If you love me, pay me a tithe. thetrapwitch@gmail.com, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. Because they ask me what I do and what I do it for. I do it for the healing of the community. But I gotta be a living example. Too many motherfuckers out here not doing what they preach. And why I'm so hard on people is because people have been hard on me in the most loving way possible. And some people, shit, when I was young, I got beat as a child. I was bad, I got an ass whooping. And some of y'all ain't tired of getting your ass whooped by your spirit guides, your ancestors, me, whoever have you. You're not tired of getting your ass whooped. Y'all not tired of getting burnt. I got scars all over my body. The last motherfucker I started talking to, okay? Look at this. I liked someone so much. I went and bought them a gift. And as soon as I left the store, my phone fell under my friend's car seat. And as soon as I went to reach for it, it slashed my hand open. Upon sitting with this gentleman, one night I looked at his hand and he had a scar in the same place. Mine shaped like a teardrop, his is shaped like a heart. And I asked God, why did you leave such an ugly scar on my hand in clear sight for me to see every day and for everybody to see? And it's because I have spent too much of my life crying over motherfuckers that weren't worth my tears trying to get their heart. Fuck them. That's that reminder. And sometimes the scars that we have in our life that are in clear sight, we need to see them every day so we don't repeat the same mistakes. Because just like that quote says, you can't learn history in reverse. Mm-mm-mm. Hallelujah, holla back. All right, y'all. If you like to book a session with me, I do counseling, I do mentorship, I do intuitive readings, I do these things, and these sessions are not going to be lasting indefinitely. By the end of this year, I might not be doing them no more. There's bigger, better things coming for me. Not to say that working one-on-one individually with the masses is not what I'm supposed to do, but God is going to use me for something bigger. So get it while you can. I'm telling you right now. And I say that with every ounce of confidence because I will be used before I leave this earth by God. And I'm being used right now. You want to be used too? You want to be used for your mission, used for your purpose, used for something greater? You're going to have to use what you got in you. And if you don't know how, get you a consultant, get you a counselor, get somebody who's going to put some fire and spark under your ass. But God damn it, stop going to people and things that are just fucking enablers of your own bullshit. Look at people and don't identify with the pain. Yes, I have gone through the pain. I go through pain. But God damn it, a motherfucker in pain, how they gonna help you? Shit. Ask how they're overcoming the pain, how they don't succumb to it. Because a lot of us like to run to people who got the same fucking problems as us, who can't even work past their own shit. How you gonna get help for someone who can't even work past their own shit? Connect from here. I don't engage with people anymore that I don't identify with where I want to go. I identify with what I feel. And your spirit will tell you if you feel like it's not the whole truth, if you don't feel like that's honestly who needs to help guide you and lift you. You be knowing. Because a lot of times it's the other motherfuckers getting rich and you ain't getting no richer either. Don't let people use you. Let people inspire you and help you. And if you feel like you ain't growing, you ain't becoming a catalyst of your own growth, then they ain't the one for you. I love you all so dearly. Me and my scar love y'all. Look, that's what you got to do with your scars. I have scars all on my body. I got scars on my back. I got scars everywhere. And they're ugly. Sometimes I look at them and say, they are ugly. Why did I have to have these scars? And then I'm reminded of this beautiful energy that I've called in, like Saint Lazarus, who has been scarred. And he helps heal people because he found beauty in his scars, beauty in his pain. There is purpose in your pain. So today, if you have a scar on your body that reminds you of something, whether it be childbirth, whether it be an accident, kiss that scar today. If you can't reach it, take 2 fingers and go and put it on your scar and make peace with it. Because it happened for you to honor the pain so you can grow. All right? I love you all. Peace be with you. And this is the sign for peace, not this is separation. This is peace. So, peace to your scars. Kiss them. Love them. Move forward from them. And always remember that all your pain is what is going to make you great. All right? I love you all. Have a good evening.